Hello, everybody. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is So I'm Watching Mayfair Witches, Season 1, Episode 6, Transference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I liked this episode better than last week.
Me too. I just still feel like we're missing something.
I feel like we're missing something. And I have a couple of general production issues. The first of which is that there are only 8 episodes.
Yes.
Which I feel like is too few. I think it should have been a solid 10.
Mm-hmm.
And
especially
then,
if this is how they were going to tell the story. We need it. We need more.
Yeah. The other thing is if you're going to have only 8, we need to be picking up the pace.
Yep.
There's sort of no excuse why the first actual witchcraft we've seen took place 3 episodes before the end of the season. So, like I said last week, we are officially getting a season 2. So I'm not as irritated as I could be, but it begs the question, what have we been doing?
Yeah. I feel like we spent almost too much time in San Francisco.
Way too much time in San Francisco.
And not enough in NOLA.
Yeah. I would have preferred to have narrative whiplash in episode 1 and had her mom die in the first 15 minutes. Both of those men tell her bullshit and get head injuries and then have the 6-month time jump as well, all in episode 1. And instead that kind of all of her San Francisco shit got drawn out into the 3rd episode before she was actually in New Orleans. And I'm just I think that was a mistake.
Yep. And because I feel like the experiences that we're now having with the Mayfair women, it's just there's not enough information. Mm-hmm. And if it's being done so that we are supposed to feel like Rowan, where we're like, what? Yeah. But even still, there's too many holes. Yeah. I don't when we open up the episode and she's in bed with Cyprian, it just still felt very I guess.
Yeah, because it's also I know I just said I wish everything was a little faster, but it's we left him last week leaving Odette in his apartment so he could go find Rowan.
Yep.
And now how much time passed between the last episode and this episode? Enough that she now has decided she cannot handle Lasher. She doesn't want him. She can't handle it. He's there all the time. So I just don't know. Also, I kind of spoiled the end of this episode for myself because the next episode is called Tessa. And I was like, well, she's obviously going to be the one.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing, too, is that Rowan is a very logical, rational person. She's a doctor. I get it. And she's a surgeon and she's a neurosurgeon. So it's stacks on stacks, hats on hats. But nobody is appealing to her that way. They keep on trying to appeal to her as a Mayfair woman. And she's not one of those. Mm-hmm. She wasn't raised that way. She doesn't operate the way you do. And nobody seems to be taking that into account.
Yeah. And to the point that, what is his, Cortland's, I don't want to say the word maid, but it's maid. Introduced her as Rowan Fielding.
Yeah.
So it's there is still that separation. So sure, absolutely bring her into the fold, but everyone's speaking in a language that she clearly doesn't understand.
That's 100% it. And because when they started, they went looking through Carlotta's father's office or study or whatever, and they found the doll made of bones. Holy hell.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. From a witch perspective, I understand what that would do and everything, but then they all had to kiss the hip bone that was the face.
They had to touch their nose to it.
Weird.
Yeah.
She was braid your mother's hair into this doll, and Rowan was the fuck? Mm-hmm. She was you have to start behaving blah, blah, blah. And I'm she doesn't understand. Is there nothing?
I also kind of was hoping / I think it would be interesting if she was I don't know how to braid hair because she was an only child.
Yeah.
So I can very only basically braid hair. I can't do a whole French braid situation. No. But
I saw this thing on TikTok that was a theory that it was if your mother could French braid, you don't know how. Mm-hmm. But if your mother couldn't French braid, you learned how to French braid.
Oh, my mother didn't know and I don't know.
Oh, my mom did. And I can't.
Oh, no. My mom made it so for our recitals, Like she worked it in. So like she asked the dance studio teacher, like owner, to schedule my ballet stuff first so I could go to the salon and have my hair French braided, and then everything else I could do after.
So funny.
Yeah. I think that would have been interesting, and it would have also lent credence to her not knowing and understanding anything about her witchy heritage.
Yeah. I just think something's missing. And I felt such a spark of interest when we had all of the Mayfair women in the circle doing this spell. And it felt very like, towards the end of Practical Magic, where they get all the town women together to like get rid of the guy. And I like that. I wish we would have been having that the whole time, because also it's like we started out with so many episodes in San Francisco, and then we focused so many episodes on Beth Grant's weird brand of like Christianity, but like also witchiness. Someone in a comment told us that she's been practicing like on the down low kind of, but she also never fully like embraced it because she is so Christian that it feels wrong. And so she's never been as powerful as she could have been, which is part of why I think she was like subjugating Deirdre as well.
Okay.
So it like makes sense. And like, but I feel like a lot of the things that have made that much sense, someone has had to tell us in a comment.
Yeah.
Like the show's not doing as much as it needs to be.
And I'm irritated that all of the other Mayfair women were willing to show up for her for this spell, but they weren't there to embrace her, to keep her away from Carlotta.
Yeah.
So why didn't they surround her in the beginning? Because even though she's the designee, they all know that Carlotta's fucking batshit. So 100%. Then why didn't they surround her and empower her then? And
well, they all want Lasher.
Yeah, so it's just like, I don't understand why they wouldn't have been like, no, don't go there. Like, yes, that is your house, but don't go there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all kind of weird and kind of dicey. Tessa also came to Cyprian's place at the beginning of the episode because some guy is messaging her. It's the guy, the morgue worker, because he took Deirdre's heart. And so he just has it in like formaldehyde in his fridge.
So gross.
And he also, is he staying in a hotel or is that like an apartment? Like, I don't.
Probably a shit apartment.
Ugh. So he's like messaging her, and basically Rowan is like, I don't want this. So like, you don't understand what it's like for me to have all of this or whatever. And Tessa, I feel like sort of thinks she's ungrateful. And I don't know that she thinks it's ungrateful, or I don't think she's ungrateful. I think she just is out of her depth, kind of. But it's one of those really funny things where you have like a younger friend or a younger relative, and they're like, oh my God, I would like kill to have what you have. And it's like, you don't know what I've had to sacrifice to have the thing I have. And you don't understand what it takes for me to just wake up in the morning, essentially. And Tessa really wants it in a way that like, not good.
No, I just also in that conversation, I really would have liked it if Rowan had been like, I don't know anything about this. Yeah. No one will tell me anything. Now there's like this figure that is like fucking with my life, and no one will explain anything to me.
He's so hot though.
He is. But like also there was at one point when she was talking to Cortland, and I don't remember. Oh, when he was like, there will be consequences. And she's like, I don't care. And I'm just like, why wouldn't you be like, what are they? Ask more questions.
Oh, well, he implied that she might lose her, like, power.
Right, but it was implied. Yeah. Ask the fucking question.
You're totally right, because then later, while they were actually doing the ceremony, Lasher was like, you understand there are risks. And she was like, yeah. And he was like, and you know what they are.
She's like, yep. Totally crystal clear. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Let's get a lawyer in here to go over these.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I literally just touched it. Just the top of it. It's fine. Sorry, guys, I got my ear pierced today. So it's anyway, I feel like everyone is speaking like collegiate level Spanish, and she is like in Spanish 101, and they keep talking to her like she knows everything, and she's just kind of like, huh? And so then that frustrates me because obviously we're experiencing it through Rowan's experience. Yeah. And so I just feel very like, I want off this ride. I don't like it anymore. I'm ready to go.
I'm gonna go.
Yep. And just the way that I experience media, I put myself in their shoes. Mm-hmm. The way that I would ignore my problem, like Lasher's in my kitchen, I don't see him. You oh, the fan's on. Great. I was hot. Thank you. So weird that it turned on or whatever. I would just completely ignore the problem.
I mean, partially, yes. She also went totally batshit at the beginning because
oh yeah,
obviously Lasher is around and just sort of she woke up in the middle of the night. She was like, go away. And then she got up and started angrily eating what looked like just onions.
Yeah. Or Italian green beans
straight from the fridge. And so Cyprian was like, take the necklace off. And she was like, I didn't even know I put it on. And so he grabbed it and then she freaked out and went very Bilbo Baggins and was like, give me back my precious. What are you doing? So he decided to take the necklace to the Talamasca to try to see what was going on with it, how it connects. And he touched it and he went into a memory of Suzanne, who was getting accused of witchcraft.
And I'm so glad we finally got to a point with the Scottish stuff, because I was getting a little fatigued with these little blips
little
in the
nuggets,
beginning of the episodes.
So she was getting accused of a witch. They had her locked in an iron thing and they were going to throw her in the river to see if she floats. Then you're not going to float.
No.
Men are the worst. So, I guess it's her little sister was say the words, the devil's words or whatever that she saw. So she did. And she invoked Lasher and he came out of the fire and he lit the whole town on fire and he choked out the witch hunter and that's what the necklace was his key to the iron thing. And then he gave her the necklace. So she freed herself.
Yep.
Which I thought was an interesting little...
It's the level of the gaslighting.
Oh, yeah. It is, but it was interesting.
Yeah.
So she was like, am I a witch? And he was like, well, you're my witch. And now you have to fulfill a prophecy, which I think is the 13th thing. Which is why in the scenes for next week, that's why he's not going to Tessa, because he wants Rowan, because she's the 13th one. I mean, she's going to have to take him back at some point.
Yeah. And, after the ritual was over and Dolly Jean was like, why do you look so sad? And it's because she made a decision without having all of the information.
Yeah. She does seem to still have her power, though.
Yes.
Also, Cortland has ALS. We'll see if that goes anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I want Harry Hamlin to stay on this show. I think he's a fun presence, but...
I kind of wish, though, that we had seen, when Lasher and Rowan were circling each other in in the circle. And he's like, do you want me gone? And she's like, yes. I really would have loved it if when he touched her face and he was like, that's cute. And then he just went away.
Yeah.
And because they said that he had to choose.
Yeah.
And so I know that effectively he is choosing by kind of neglecting Tessa, but I would have liked it if he said it straight to her face and then nothing happened.
I think part of the reason he chose Tessa is because I think he could sense that Rowan didn't want him to.
Yeah.
So now she'll do what it takes to get Tessa out of it as well. So there's these fucking men. One of them is played by the main guy is played by Chris Coy, who played Barry the Bellman in True Blood season 2. Which I forgot. I was looking at him and I was like, he's so familiar. He was also psychic, like Sookie.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Or
that's right,
not
that's
psychic,
right.
but he could hear thoughts.
Yep.
So I thought that was kind of fun. And there's all this fucking speechifying and
yeah, it's just
Mitch, what is it from Parks and Rec? You guys are all ridiculous and men's rights is nothing.
Yeah.
So they're talking shit about witches and they're trying to they're the ones that are clearly burning women, which Tessa believes so as well. And so they are they're gathering, and that is why what even is his name? Does he have a name? The Keith Murphys, is that the
maybe?
Yeah. That's why he had took the heart and everything so he could get in with these guys, and so that's why they he was using it to lure Tessa because he knows she's a Mayfair. So and she has like a thrall kind of like
Glamour.
a glamour. So she is like almost getting him. And then the other guys come from behind. And so they have now trapped her in like a cage, which.
Yay.
So, and like Lasher will not come to her. So we're going to have to, I think they're doing a location spell next week because there was like a map under like a bunch of blood and stuff. So I think they're going to obviously try to find her, but.
Yeah, I'm just really tired of a bunch of white dudes yelling about how annoyed they are of women supporting women and women exerting power. Really tired of it.
So stupid.
Yep. And when they were talking about the latest victim, who they claim is not a victim, she like talked about how she lost faith and then she found herself and like her power, like in the practice. And it's just like, so then Christianity shouldn't suck as much, or organized religion shouldn't suck as much. I don't.
Stepping such a weak man.
Yeah, that part. That part
for sure.
Yeah.
I also did just want to make a comment that I really appreciated the variety of women in the Mayfairs. I liked that quite a lot. I'm also, did I already say JoJo has premonitions?
No, you did not say.
Yeah, JoJo has like, that's her gift is like visions, which I like a lot. I want the Breaking Dawn part 2 part of it. Like I want the I want all the different powers. Like I want to know who, like what everybody has.
Yeah,
like,
can we not have like a charcuterie night at the house and like they take back the dining room? You know what I mean?
Which is
like,
still
which is still charred. But like, yeah, why are we not having like a girly get together where it's just like, I can do this and I can do this and I can do this. Oh, and Rowan put fire in her hand.
Oh, that was pretty dope, actually.
Yeah, that was neat.
Here's what I am anticipating, or what I guess what I hope. I would hope that in this quest to rescue Tessa, which may or may not be successful, she could easily die. That would be horrible, but it's an Anne Rice thing. It could happen. I want her to realize what she is, this 13th witch like thing, and understand that actually she has more power than Lasher and she can actually get a yoke on him.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I want. Like, you serve me, that not the other way around.
Yep.
So that's what I'm like hopeful for. But there's only 2 episodes left, and I think that's a mistake. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We're in it.
We are in it. Yeah. I'm bummed. I had really high hopes.
Well, Interview with the Vampire was so good.
Oh my God, so good. And then I like witchy stuff.
Yeah.
And, especially like any chance that we can have like something supernatural centered around women and women's power. I mean, yes, please. I would love that. I would love if the show was sort of like this. Yeah. Like I want it to go back up at the end. Yeah, that'd be really great. We'll see. I'm like certainly not going to like write it off completely, and I'll watch season 2 when it happens, but the last couple episodes have been a little dicey for me. Yeah, same. Yeah, the same. So, all right. Well, we'll be back next week. Let us know what you think. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. Definitely keep the comments coming. We don't read all of them because some of you are still being very spoilery, but we appreciate the comments and the engagement. So keep it coming. Yeah. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah. And then that's it. Bye. Bye.